You're watching SKST Radio.
Hello, my soul brothers and soul sisters. This is the Ron Smith Investigative Show, where we separate the real from the fake, the fact from fiction, and give you the winner's edge. Today's guest is gospel recording artist Donnell Cephus. How you doing, Donnell?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today, Ron.
You know, one of the things that I'm a big movie fan, and I remember watching the Five Heartbeats, and when they heard their song on the radio, it just like the whole house lit up. How did it feel when you heard your song on the radio?
Oh man, it's an indescribable feeling. I put a lot of effort and time to it. It's a process, as you know. And I actually got a call from one of the people at the station, and he says, "Hey, your song was come on in 3 minutes."
Okay.
And I was actually at a patient first. I was waiting, so I ran out to my car, turned it on, everything, so I could hear the song. So that, and I would just, man, all I can say is thank God, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord.
Now, you came from a musical family, and what did you find so fascinating about music?
Well, the fact that it just brings people together. Music makes you feel good. It really is a mood change. So I always say mood music.
Okay.
And I, like I said, come from a musical family. My sisters, my siblings, my brothers come from a large family. And they either all sang or played some type of instrument. And my eldest brother, Lewis, was a child prodigy.
Oh, okay.
A gifted child. He played all, he was formally trained on the trombone, tuba, but he taught himself the brass instruments and all the African instruments he taught himself, and well known in the state of Texas and traveled a lot. So I was always exposed to that. And he also sang and spoke fluent Spanish.
So what are the different types of instruments that you grew up around?
Well, I was actually in the band, a high school band.
Okay.
So I was formally trained on the tuba. Well, actually, 3 different types: the sousaphone, the concerto tuba, and the one we all know, the 4-valve tuba as well. So that's what I was trained on, and I taught myself how to play the bass guitar. So I'm a former bass guitar player, but now my focus is pretty much on writing songs.
Okay.
Writing songs.
In your opinion, why is music the universal language? People of different dialects and tongues and different, nationalities, they are always, if you could play a music or you could sing, basically you can galvanize a group of people. Why do you think that is?
Absolutely, it truly is, because when music, you don't necessarily need words. And I'll give you a really good example of that. I'm a retired Navy veteran. Mm-hmm. And when I was in the Navy, I was part of a band. We had a band. And we was actually over in Naples, Italy playing, just kind of visiting clubs. We ran into this particular club, and there was a band there, a local band, of course, playing.
Okay.
And they imitated American music so well, I was just absolutely blown away by that. And they loved old R&B songs. Well, it so happens my band, we played old R&B songs, okay?
Okay.
So one of the guys in the band spoke enough English where it got, bottom line, they invited some of our band members to play with theirs. And so that was a opportunity of a lifetime. I really enjoyed that. After it was over, I was so moved by it. I went to congratulate them, and they just looked at me like they had no idea what I was saying, because they didn't understand English. I didn't understand Italian.
Right.
But the one guy did speak a little bit of English, so he explained everything. But it was just amazing how they could take an American song, sing it note for note, and not speak a word of English.
Oh, man, that's awesome. One of the things that I do, I've traveled around the world. And for me, I go to universities and I go to libraries. When you travel, do you go to different music venues and just partake of different sounds, or tell us about your travels and what do you do when you travel?
Oh, well, first of all, I absolutely love to travel. My wife, Charlene, and I own our own travel business. Went out for 18 years, Time Master Travels. And so we travel a lot. And every place I've always gone, even when I was in the military, I like to get into the culture. That means the food, the music, the people. And what fascinated me and really expanded my horizons about music is that there's so many type of instruments that I had never heard of, never heard the sound.
Right.
So basically, I would find out anything could be an instrument. So that was very fascinating. So now I find myself everywhere I go. I love going to different music venues, jazz, R&B, gospel, what have you.
Now, I know in Europe, the clubs love jazz over there. Is there any particular place that a part of the world that you would go to even today if you had the time?
Well, no particular place. I don't know if you mean like a particular country or city.
Well, country, city, or
yes, there was one place in Barcelona, Spain, that I visited, and there's a smaller town called San Fernando just outside of so Barcelona. And I went there, and it was just like going back in time. It was almost going back to the 50 happy days, if you would.
Okay.
Because the music they were playing were that type of music, doo-wop music, and I absolutely love doo-wop. Acapella music, voices, that type of thing.
I visited Cape Town in South Africa, and it's amazing how they have appropriated our music, and then they put their own little spin on it. Have you infused some of your music that you play today with some of the sounds that you have heard overseas?
Yes, I do. One of my songs in particular is called Saving Grace, which is also the name of my upcoming album. And the background singers that one will hear on that is a Nigerian trio.
Oh, awesome.
So I have incorporated that. There's another song that I have similar, but it's featuring a young lady on the steel drums. And the background that again, I have Nigerian singers in the background now.
Okay.
So yes, I do incorporate what sounds good to my ears and I like. That's what I do.
So your writing process, how would you explain your process? I know some people have to take a sabbatical, and some people have to just lock themselves in a room, and some people basically it's just like they may have an experience and they write about. What is your process?
Well, I would have to say honestly, I really don't have a process of doing it because my songwriting comes from my own personal experiences,
Okay.
other people's stories, a lot from reading the Bible, and sometimes a verse will come, or even a hook of a song, if you would. It may just be that, nothing else, and it just stays in my mind. And out of that one hook, winds up building an entire song.
Okay.
Sometimes I give you one example, a song that also will be on there called "Jesus, I Love You." But I call it Jaja's song. It's going to be the title. Jaja is my 5-year-old grandson, but when he was 2, I noticed he just didn't want to go to sleep. But one day I played a little bit of the song, and he would listen to it, go right to sleep. So I said, wow, this is going to be Jaja's song.
Okay.
So I love it. And we were driving the car one day, and when he was about 3, and he started singing the song, the words to it.
Wow.
So it's just different inspiration. My experiences, life, and it may come in pieces. And there's been time when I've written an entire song at one sitting.
All right, that is truly awesome. Now, what instruments? I think you said tuba. That you played the tuba?
Yeah, I was formerly trained on the tuba.
Okay. And is there any other instruments that you play?
Well, I wouldn't actually say I play the piano. I have one, and I'm in the process of learning how to play the piano.
Uh, from my reading and talking to people, seem like the piano is the writer's I guess second hand, so to speak. Um, uh, how would you if somebody was trying to aspire to be a songwriter, what advice would you be giving them of how to actually go about doing that?
I would advise, first thing I guess I would advise someone to is listen to your heart. Just be aware of what moves you.
Okay.
Whether it's a sound, maybe something someone said that triggers a good feeling, or and maybe even a not so good feeling, because it's all about the reality of life, and everything is not always just nice and sweet. So that's why you hear some rappers, they'll rap about the lifestyle they grew up in, and people say that's kind of rough. At the same time, I've heard rappers rap songs that brought tears to my eyes, was so moving and nice. So I would say be true to yourself. Listen to what it is that makes your ears go up, and the way it makes you feel. And when you do that, things will start happening.
I've heard Quincy Jones is one of the people that I admire in the music business, and
Me
basically
as well.
he was saying that God pretty much given to him, and he's like the conduit, and like he's downloaded it, and it's almost like he hears music everywhere he goes. It's almost like I guess a rhythm that he picks up. Do you have that same vibration?
Yeah, matter of fact, I was going to say that's a good way of describing what I was trying to say. It really is. And music is always in me. My wife jokes to me every time she says, baby, she said, I already know when you're home because I hear you singing or humming something before you even get in the door. And it's just so natural now. I was standing in, I think at my bank the other day, and I was standing in line, and the lady in front of me turned around. She said, you know what? That is so nice to hear. And I said, excuse me? She said, you're humming. She said, I don't hear people hum. I can't remember last time I actually hear people just stand humming a tune. And it really sounds like a nice tune. And I didn't even realize I was humming softly.
So today, what did you hear?
Today I heard just birds. I hear wind blowing through the trees. I hear the vehicles going back and forth, people talking, and it's life. And it just made me feel real good because today is a very nice day. As you well know, we're in the 70s now, and for today, and it just all comes together. So when I hear things, I mentioned my brother, and I gotta say this because one thing about my oldest brother, Lewis, like I said, child prodigy, he spoke to me one day. He said, do you hear that? And it was raining. And I said, no. He said, you don't hear that? I said, well, it's raining. He said, no, but listen. And he could tell you when a raindrop fall what key it was in.
Wow.
That's a gift I don't have. But he heard notes. And to this day has never left me. I think of him often. He's no longer with me, passed away about 6 years ago. And that is the reason for me doing a CD. This is a tribute to him. It's not about fortune or fame or wealth or none of that.
Oh, we're going to talk about that CD in the second half.
Okay.
The reason why I asked that question because Miles Davis has said in his book that he's tried the way he blow his horn and with the mute, he's tried to capture what he heard in the wind, and he said he's forever trying to chase what he heard, and that's why he is one of those nocturnal type guys because he spent all day trying to perfect something he heard that morning.
Wow.
So that was truly awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, soul brothers and soul sisters, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back with recording artist Donnell Cephus.
Cammie's Closet, Cammie's Closet, Cammie's Closet, an upscale resale clothing, vintage clothing, handbag, and shoes online store. Cammie's Closet, spelled with a K, not with a T, is a small upscale resale boutique that carry gently used name brand clothing, vintage clothing, shoes, and handbags. Cammie's Closet is all about rediscovering, upcycling, and selling clothes of all kinds. Cammie's Closet believes it's an underappreciated form of clothing, and they started a win-win for everyone. The true value of resale. Cammie's Closet is very aficionado, passionate about rediscovering, upcycling, and reselling upscale resale and vintage clothing of all kinds. Go to cammiescloset.com. That's K, not a T, A-M-I-S-K, not a C, L-O-S-E-T. cammiescloset.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with gospel recording artist Donnell Cephus. And prior to the break, we were talking about how Miles Davis would hear something in the morning, and it would take him all day trying to recapture that song. Have you had that kind of experience that you had something that you couldn't actually, I guess, explain or actually put into words, or trying to put it to a melody?
Yes, I've had that experience often. Sometimes when writing a song, I hear something in my head before it's putting it on paper words. I found myself kind of wrestling with it to find the right word, the right phraseology, so that it would convey this feeling as well as the meaning of what I'm experiencing.
Do you find that frustrating, or do you find that exhilarating, or how do you reconcile that? Is what I want to ask.
Well, I find it challenging, but at the same time, if I hear something, I can put it down and go do something else. And it might be a day, it might be an hour, it might be 5 minutes. And I come back and it seems like there's usually the answers there of what I was looking for.
Okay.
Or maybe talking to someone, and then my wife or a friend or something, they say something, I say, that's it. Okay. That's it. That's what I was looking for, And it's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle.
I'm a writer also, and that's what I've found, that basically if I focus and concentrate on a little while, and if I get frustrated, I just back off and do something totally different.
Absolutely.
This is your new project. Is this the second LP, or is the third?
No, actually, this is the first CD I'm working on.
Okay.
I presently have 3 songs that are being actually played on radio as well as streaming platforms, such as Apple Music, YouTube, all of them out there. So many. Okay,
so the recording that I heard about 2 years ago, that was just a single.
Yes, I put that as a single. My first song, "Rap Real Hard."
Right.
I rap real hard for my guard is actually the title, but "Rap Real Hard." That was my first.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I've heard one that you did with I think Quentin Warwick.
Yes.
And that was what?
Okay, that one was "All Things Through Christ Jesus."
Okay.
All things Christ Jesus. And you're right, Quentin Warwick, good friend of mine, awesome voice, awesome singer. And I was just really, it really made me feel good that he gave of his talents his time to say, yes, of course, I love to do that. And so we did that song, and we get a lot of good positive reviews. Even now, people come and they say, man, that it means so much when people actually come in and say, you know what, that touched me. Or that brought, this memory back, or gave me hope, inspiration, So, yes.
So give us the what we will anticipate on the new project. Tell us about that one.
Okay, the newest, I have quite a few songs that about 3 more songs that I'm working on, finishing up rather, to put on the CD. And one of the songs I mentioned, a young lady, she's going to be on with the steel drums. I've yet to title this one. Okay. But she's absolutely fantastic. And she is featured on it with background vocals by a Nigerian trio. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait for the world to hear that.
Oh, awesome.
And it's kind of like a jazzy gospel. So even if I want to say that if someone listened to it and I never said anything, tell me anything about it, it would fit. Whether they're in a coffee shop, sitting by themselves, just one, like a little jazzy atmosphere, whether they were really just reading the scripture, it's there. I think it's one of those songs that I wouldn't try to put into a category and say, well, this is a gospel song. It's whatever strikes your ear.
Okay.
But the bottom line, you say, I like it.
So when can we anticipate that project being completed and distributed?
Well, I'm hopeful that my time frame is around August, September, maybe of this year.
Okay.
In the process right now, I'm kind of behind my videos. So I'm in the process of shooting the videos to go with the songs. And once I complete the remaining 3 songs, they will be sent off to be mastered. And once their songs are mastered, then the project is all done. It's ready to go.
I think you, in our conversations prior to this one, you mentioned some things that you've been doing with the universities. In particular, I think Elizabeth City University.
Yes. I met the dean over there, and she's a fan of my music. She very, very supportive, just like I am supportive of Elizabeth City State University through, money donations, just however I can support that. I am big on education. I believe in that. I believe everybody should have a fair opportunity to learn. Especially those people who want to learn should have that opportunity. In Elizabeth City State, as well as Norfolk State University as well. I also support them, and when their fundraisers, make it a point every year to give.
But it was a particular program that you were interacting with her.
Oh, well, actually, the program that you're speaking of, I didn't make it on, and Dr. Lewis Gates was doing a series, a special on not only Black music, particularly Black history. And she asked if I would want to contribute some of my songs to that, a couple songs. And of course, I was elated. Absolutely. Dr. Lewis Gates, who wouldn't want to be associated with Dr. Lewis Gates?
Right.
So, but somewhere in there, the dates were mixed up.
Okay.
And she apologized that she said, it was supposed to have been, I thought it was upcoming week. It turned out it was a few days ago. And so I didn't have an opportunity to get in on that. But she told me, said she definitely will keep me in mind and do a better job of letting me know.
What music in particular was she interested in having you associate?
Gospel.
Okay.
It was gospel, gospel songs, and just want to new, fresh gospel songs that maybe people haven't heard. And I think with my songs, it's a little bit different. And I say that only because I'm unique. I never try to copy or sound like someone else. So all my songs is original, and there's no ego in it. Therefore, when I'm always looking for the right artist with that right voice for the song. So I'm always trying to keep an ear out for that. And those who are there to help me move my music to the next level, I'm always humble and grateful for it.
So what about the gospel that you find is fascinating?
I prefer the more, new gospel, as opposed to the gospel I was raised up on, bringing in the sheaves, and I had no idea what sheaves were, but we sing the same songs, and they all seem to end the same way. My gospel music is more up-tempo, and also it's deeper feeling, because when I do my right song, I want to, whenever it's performed, is to engage the audience. I wanted for them to relate to it, and say, here's why I like that song. It's all about how it makes me feel, what does it trigger in me, and like I said, my songs all inspirational, hope, in this day and world, in this day and time we live in now, there can never be enough shortage of inspiration, hope.
Well, that's the reason why I use the term gospel instead of religious.
Right.
Because
right.
gospel is talking about the good news.
Mhm.
And when you talk about the good news, it should be, soul penetrating.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I agree.
If you were on a remote island as a castaway,
Uh-oh.
and you only had 3 LPs to take with you, who would that be and why?
Well, the artist that I would take with me would be, God, so many out there. I love Yolanda Adams' music.
Okay.
Do you think she does? Um, I'm just trying to think. Is so many out there. Mahalia Jackson
Okay.
is a as well. So, and you said the third one, probably Kirk Franklin
Okay.
for his new upbeat music. Dietrich Haddon. See, now things are coming. So yes.
Okay. So tell us before we leave how people can buy your music,
Mhm.
and what platforms are you using?
Okay, I'm using right now the main way I'm trying to get my music out is through all the major streaming platform. I name a couple of them. There's so many out there, Deezer, but main thing, people can go on there and just Google even or YouTube even songs by Donnell Cephus.
Okay.
And when they do that, all 3 songs will come up that's out there now.
All right.
Also Facebook.
So can you do an impromptu of the first song that I heard on the radio?
Oh, the first one? Wow. That would be Rap Real Hard for My God.
Can you give us a couple bars on our way?
I rap real hard for my God. Yeah, I rap real hard for my God. Got nothing but love in my heart. So I rap real hard for my God. And I run real hard for my God. Yeah, I run real hard for my God. I got nothing but love in my heart. So I run real hard for my God.
That is gospel artist Donnell Cephus. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for joining us, and please support our local artists. Thank you so much. Until next time.